that we got to look at and get figured out, get fixed, and that's exactly what we'll do. Hats off to Coach Arians and the Bucs. They did a nice job finding a way to get the win. There's a lot of things that we can correct and a lot of things that we will improve on, and I think the only thing that we can look at as a blessing is we get a chance to do that on a short week. Going to Seattle on a Thursday night, and that's all we know how to do is go back to work and try to figure it out.
Coach, I know there was a lot of things that were frustrating, but what was the most frustrating for you?
Yeah, I think there's too many things to really point out one thing. There's a lot of things that I think we're all capable of better. We continue to fight, but ultimately it's about finding a way to get it done. We didn't do that today.
How would you describe the physicality, Sean, of this game?
Yeah, it was a physical game. A lot of snaps, a lot of different ebbs and flows, a lot of ups and downs, and there's going to be a lot of things that we got to look at and a lot of things that we can all fix moving forward.
Sean, Todd was on the field quite a bit in the first quarter, but not really involved running the ball at all. Is there a concerted effort earlier in the games to maybe monitor the usage just to preserve them for games, the season? Is there any?
No, there's none of that. We're just we're doing what we can to try to find a way to win games, and it's not about conserving. We got to win. We got to win right now, and that's the most important thing. There's nothing like that.
What are you seeing then that's dissuading you from running the ball?
There's a lot of different things. Ultimately, it's our job to figure out what we think is the best way to move the football and score points, and that was what we decided on. That was what I decided on today.
It's been quite a stretch now, though, where you haven't gone to much. And when we were talking about the reigning NFL Offensive Player of the Year here, why hasn't he figured?
Yeah, each game, each game represents different things. So I can't pinpoint one thing in particular.
How would you evaluate Jared today?
I think there was a lot of really good things. There's some things, there were so many different snaps, so many opportunities where we threw the football today, Bill. So there's going to be a lot of things we can go back and look at. I love the way that he continued to battle, took some shots, continued to respond, and those are things that we can take away from a positive.
Is the fact that you guys have a short week coming off a loss like this an advantage or a disadvantage because you don't have much time to kind of decide?
Yeah, I think it's a blessing, because that's the only thing that we can really control is that we play again on Thursday. We're going to find a way to look at ourselves and see if we can play better, and we get an opportunity on Thursday, and I think that's a blessing for us.
Sean, fourth straight game where you started slow, no TDs first quarter. Is there anything you can change schematically that you see that you would like to?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit up here and continue to make excuses for why I haven't done a good enough job. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it right now. We're not getting it done, and we're just going to continue to put our head down and try to find solutions.
As good as your defense is, could you ever imagine they'd give up that many points?
Well, I think the points are a little bit misleading. We put them in some really bad fields. They had a defensive touchdown at the end. So this is a team game. We got to do a better job collectively as a team, and that's exactly what we'll do moving forward.
You mentioned fixing the mistakes. Can this be a wake-up call for these guys to give up 55 points like this at home?
I think it's really a wake-up call for everybody. Ultimately, it's about finding a way to win football games. We didn't do that today. We make no excuses for it, and we relish the opportunity to move forward the right way.
Was this the most pressure, the heaviest rush that Jared's been under?
Well, I think so. I think when you look at just the amount of times that we threw the football and some of the situations that the flow of the game dictated, that does put some pressure on our offensive line. They've got a good pass rush. They did a nice job, and very aggressive system that Coach Bowles runs, and you give those guys credit for executing pretty well today.
And got two more guys.
You guys had a lot of penalties, and they were veteran. These weren't young guys. These were veteran linemen,
Yeah.
receivers. What can you do?
I really, until you get a chance to really, because you got to move on in the flow of the game, until we really get a chance to kind of look inward, figure out exactly what resulted in those, what was occurring. It's hard to specifically put my finger on one thing, but there were some things that were very uncharacteristic and things that we can't do moving forward.
In terms of trying to figure out exactly how to get the offense flowing again, with everything you consider, do you consider just going back to using Todd the way you had before?
Well, I think there's some things that, you'd like to find some solutions to be more productive offensively, and there's a lot of different directions that we can go, but ultimately it's my job, it's our job to figure that out, and I haven't done a good enough job, and I'm not going to make any excuses about it other than just try to go to work and figure it out. Okay? Thanks.
Keeping on all day. They did a good job, and we got to be better regardless, but they did do a good job bringing pressure.
There's pressure. There's at times an inability to run the ball consistently. Can you put your finger on why that is happening?
No. Defenses are doing a good job right now, and I thought there was a lot of the game where we did do a good job. We were moving the ball well, and we were doing what we're supposed to do. We were executing, and like you're saying, there was a lot of the game where we couldn't run the ball effectively, and we're getting a lot of pressure. So it's a little bit of both. And again, I know I say this a lot, but a lot of good stuff to build on, and a lot of stuff to clean up.
offensively you guys are utilizing Todd a lot differently than you did the past couple seasons. How much are you guys just getting used to that?
I think it's just every game's different. Every game's got a different game plan, and every game has a different focus, and it changes throughout the game depending on what the defense does and what we want to do offensively. And this game was one of those where it wasn't so much through him, and we do want to get him involved more and do want to do that, but it's dictated game by game.
Go ahead.
How frustrating is this for you? All that happened today, how frustrating is it?
Frustrating for sure. And I think, I try to have a good perspective on it, knowing it's only week 4 and knowing that we did do some good things, and we do have a good Thursday night game. So let this one go by as quick as possible and move on, because we got to go up to Seattle on Thursday. But it is frustrating, and, it is something that we do need to get fixed quickly.
In this league, how difficult to play catch-up? You were in a big deficit most of the way, but then when you actually got momentum, what were you thinking when you got to?
Yeah, after we got the pick 6, we thought we had a real chance to win there, and unfortunately we didn't. Our defense, did some good things there at the end to get us the ball back on the interception, and we have to finish drives. We have to execute better and do a better job, and today wasn't one of those.
Jared, can you walk us through what you saw in that strip sack at the end there?
Yeah, they did a good job applying the pressure, and I was just trying to get rid of the ball and not take a sack there, and let the clock run. And I know we didn't have any. I think we had maybe one or no timeouts, and just didn't want to let the clock run. Try to get rid of the ball, and I got to be better.
Sean was saying that it's a blessing that you guys play so quickly. You don't have a whole week to kind of process.
Yeah.
Do you see it that way?
Yeah, I think so. I think you'd have to. I mean, we have no other choice. We're 3-1, and it could be a lot worse. And the Bucs played a great game. Tip your cap. They did their thing, and they beat us today, and beat us for 4 quarters. And again, there were some spurts of good and some spurts of really good for us, but the majority of it was not. And we need to be better, and we will be.
In terms of
Couple more,
pressure,
Jeff.
was there anything different that they were showing that they didn't in the first 3 weeks of film?
No, not particularly. No, I think they just do a good job applying that pressure, and they're good up front. And 58's a great player, Shaq Barrett, and they're bringing blitzes all day, and they were doing a good job. I think we did have guys open that I would like to have back, some of the stuff that I missed down the field, but I think ultimately, again, I know I'm going away from your question, but ultimately we need to execute better on offense, and I need to execute better personally, and I will, and we will, and I'm not worried about anything, and I'm excited to get to play again in 4 days and not another week. Thank you, guys.